Yo, what's up? It's your boy Herb, Fair Warning, aka J.Eyes, coming to you with a tutorial on how to organize an event. When talking about organizing a dance event, there are a lot of aspects to consider. So there will be separate parts to this holistic idea. We will be doing part one on building the plan. When building the plan, the first thing that you obviously have to think about is the event name. You want to create a name that has a ring to it. It's something that you don't want to rush because it has to be right. It also becomes a brand for marketing and advertising. It's going to be the name that people refer to your event as, and it's going to be the name that they remember. Make sure that it's simple. You don't want a super long name that is really hard to remember. So just make sure that you are taking all of these things into consideration when you're creating the name for your event. There's a lot of responsibilities within organizing an event. You want to build a team. Unless you already have a team, then make sure that the people within that team have a good work ethic and they believe in the vision. If you're trying to build a team, look for like-minded people. People who also agree with the direction of the vision. So once you got a team, once you have a name, the next thing you want to think about is your budget. Now you want to build what your budget is by reaching out to all the artists you want to attend your event and seeing what their fees are. Going to an event space, looking at maybe 3 different options and seeing which one is the more affordable for you, and not only affordable, but is right for your event. Let's do some practical thinking on coming up with a budget. Let's talk about the different aspects that can play into your budget and what you will be potentially spending. Now, this is on a scale, okay? It will be from a smaller event to a bigger event. Once we add all of these numbers up, we will have an idea of the minimum and the maximums. The first thing is first, you want to find an event space. Now, for some people, you can either get an event space for free, or you could probably be paying up to about $2,000 or more, depending on how many days you're doing for your event, how much time you need the space for, and anything else that specific event facility is asking of you financially. Anywhere from free to $2K is what you could expect. Once you've reached out to the event space and you have an idea of what you need to pay for that, now you need to be thinking about who do you want to DJ. The importance of a DJ is that they ultimately create the atmosphere of your event. So you want to make sure that it is a quality DJ, someone who can read the room and know what music to play at what time. Also, if there's any dead time, they understand how to fill that gap of time. DJs also have technical knowledge. So if there's anything that you're working with, speakers, mics, anything dealing with the sound, they have the technical knowledge to make sure that everything operates the way that it needs to. You can expect to pay anywhere from $700 to $1,000+ for your DJ. Some DJs also have what's called a carnage fee, which is the fee to transport their equipment. In this fee of $700 to $1,000, I also want you to remember, right, because hearing that price range, I'm sure some people are gonna be like, whoa, that's a lot of money. Well, their equipment costs a lot of money, and that is equipment that you do not have. I have been to events where people just don't have a DJ, and maybe they're playing music from a laptop or a phone. Consider booking a DJ and making sure that that DJ is great at what they do. Holla at my boy, DJ Mercy, if you need somebody to DJ for your event. Okay, once you have the event space, DJ, now you want to think about the MC or the host. The importance of the MC and the host is that they create the environment of your event. They make it a safe space, they make it welcoming, they make it fun, they interact with the audience. Make sure that they're doing all of these things, because as an MC and a host, it is important that you are developing the environment. right? Essentially, the MC and the host is making the space as a whole more of a community feel. Make sure that you pick someone who you know is a good people person and they have no problems with interacting with audience. Expect to pay anywhere from $500 to $800. Now, the MC or the host isn't like the DJ where they have specific equipment, but they do have a particular set of skills as far as communicating with people. They understand the verbiage and the language that they need to be saying to someone. They understand how to talk to people and get them on a positive side. You don't want a host that is irritating your audience, because your audience is going to walk away with a bad experience. So make sure that your MC or your host is the master of the ceremony. They should not have to demand the attention of the audience. They should be captivating, and as soon as they speak on the mic and the audience hear their voice, they are locked in and focused on that host. You have event space, DJ, MC, now judges and teachers. Now, the judges and teachers are the attraction for your event. You can expect to pay anywhere from $500 to $1,000+, depending on the artist that you're bringing. It could be someone elite or someone more standard, heavy hitter, in between and emerging from heavy hitter to being elite. Some people may be thinking, that is a lot of money. Well, yeah, it is. When you're hiring a judge or a teacher, you're not just hiring them to be there and be present and to just judge. You're hiring them because they're going to bring more people to your event. So that's one. The second value is their knowledge over time. You're not only paying for their presence and the fact that they are attracting people, but the knowledge that they hold, especially if they're teaching, right? And if they're judging, they have to be able to communicate with competitors, maybe why they didn't make it through the prelims or why they lost a round. You want to make sure that your judges are intelligent about the culture and the style and the dance so that they can communicate what they need to, given that their knowledge is well-rounded. That is also something that you're paying for. Imagine paying $100 to someone who has worked pretty much half of their life or most or all of their life contributing to this culture, and you want to pay them $100 for 15 to 20 years of work. That's not fair. So you have your judges, your teachers, your MCs, your DJ, the event space in mind. Now we're going to exhibition battles. Exhibition battlers should be paid because just like the judges and the teachers, they are an attraction to your event. A good battle is good entertainment, and good entertainment brings audience members. So make sure that you're paying your exhibition battlers. Time and time again, there are so many events, right? Where you show up to the event and you're like, yo, what battles are happening again? And you're discussing, and then you find out, oh, that battle's not happening again because so-and-so is no longer coming. Why is so-and-so no longer coming? They weren't even getting paid to do the exhibition battle in the first place. And in fact, their flight, their traveling, and their lodging wasn't even being paid for either, which makes it hard. So just make sure that you're taking care of your exhibition battlers. They are working for you, so you should be compensating them for that. On top of it, they've been labbing, they've been practicing. The work that they've been putting in to counts as a value to your event, because you will reach out to people who you know are gonna put on a good battle. So you wanna make sure that you're paying them fairly. Expect to pay $200 per exhibition battler. So if you have two people battling, that's $200 for person one and $200 for person two. $400 total. Next up, lodging and traveling fees. This is probably one of the biggest fees other than judges and teachers. When you're doing traveling and lodging, you wanna make sure that artists that you have coming are traveling safely and they're traveling comfortably. You also want to make sure that while they are in your city, in your community, that they are able to sleep comfortably and be somewhere safe, right? So expect to pay anywhere from $400 to $6,000 for travel and lodging fees together. There are some ways where you can offer lodging for free, right? If your place is big enough and you have an extra room with an extra bed, right? Then you can make it possible. But don't book an artist and then offer them a couch or the floor. That's not how it should be. That is not how we should be treating the people in our community that put in so much work, and they're coming to work for us. A lot of us are older now. A couch is not comfortable. A couch is not giving us privacy. There's a lot of things that you're taking away from an artist when you're offering them a couch. Make sure that they got somewhere comfortable to sleep. I've been in a situation where I had to see a leader of a community sleep literally in a closet because someone failed to book us a proper stay. Everyone else slept on floors. It was a fucking mess. So just make sure that when you're bringing artists to your city, you are not just being an organizer. At this point, you are being a host. They need to walk away feeling like your city is the shit. You want to consider per diem, food, and other activities that have nothing to do with the event necessarily, such as paintballing, bowling, going to see a movie, going to the bar, going to a game room, something that is fun and allows your artist to just relax and chill. And not only that, but converse and build rapport. That's the way that you do it. Give them an experience that is fun and not related to the reason that they're out there. Per diem is set aside funds that you can give to the artist per day so that they're not taking money from the fee that you're paying them for their services. So for example, if you're paying an artist $1,000 for being at your event, you want to pay them an extra $50 a day if they're there for 3 days, $150 total, so that they don't have to take any money out of their fee for food and anything else that they would need to potentially buy. If they need deodorant, if they need body wash, you give them per diem so they don't have to take away from the fee of their services. If you're not giving them per diem, at least make sure that their food is covered, right? And the experiences that you go on, the extra activities is covered, and they don't have to pay. All around, just make sure when you book an artist, they're not paying out of pocket for everything. We have event space, DJ, MC, judges, exhibition battlers, traveling and lodging fees, per diem. Let's talk about the tournament cash prize. For the tournament cash prize, understand that it is incentive for competitors to come to your event. For your tournament cash prize, make sure that it is a pre-saved prize. You do not want to rely on the attendance of your event to financially build that cash prize. You want to already have that cash prize set aside, because understand that once you put that cash prize on a flyer, you are promising the attendees that that is what they are going to walk away with if they win. So if someone wins, you want to make sure that you have that in the bag already. Expect to put whatever you want up for the cash prize. Now let's think about PA system rental, right? If the event space that you are planning to have your event at doesn't have a PA system, you might need to rent one. You can expect to rent one for $150+. If there's a guitar center in your city, they rent out PA systems, speakers, subwoofers, monitors. They even rent out DJ sets if you don't have one. Definitely look into that. I'll make sure that I put a link in the description of this video. Event insurance. Event insurance is something that probably not a lot of people look into or get for their event. And I'm gonna add this in because it's something important, and here's why. You wanna get event insurance in the case that someone damages something in the event space. You got insurance, the insurance will cover it. There's also liability insurance. Let's say whatever it was that broke ended up hurting someone who attended your event, you will be responsible for all costs. Consider getting event insurance. You can look on a website called EventSured. They have options for you to pay a fee that allows you to have insurance for the day. So next, we want to think about marketing materials. A graphic designer is someone that you need to be looking into for this. You need someone who is creative and really good at what they do. So they could build your flyers, build your banners, build anything that you will utilize for marketing and advertising. Expect to pay anywhere from probably $200 and up. Now, you might also want event t-shirts. That is something that your graphic designer can create a design for. Maybe they can create a variation from the flyer or the banner or any other marketing materials. You want to consider having event t-shirts because it forms as memorabilia for your event goers. It gives them something to walk away with and to remember your event by. You can expect to pay anywhere from $500+, but you can also expect to receive some type of profit from the sales of those t-shirts. You also want to make sure that these event t-shirts, if you have it in your budget, you go ahead and give some to the people working for you, such as your judges, your teachers, your MC, your host, your exhibition battlers. You want to give them something else, right, to remember your event by. Now, videographers and photographers. You want to make sure that whoever this is, they are really great at what they do, because the history and the experience that they capture can determine how your event will go the next year if it is an annual event. People who miss your event, they will look forward to seeing photos and videography. And if what is captured looks like something they don't want to miss again, I guarantee you they will not miss it again. So you want to make sure that whoever your videographer is and photographer is, that they are great at what they do and they're good at capturing great moments. Expect to pay anywhere from $1,000+ for your videographer and your photographer. Again, some might be like, man, that is a lot of money. Yes, it is. You know what else is a lot of money? Is the equipment that they are bringing to your event. So you're not just paying for a videographer and a photographer. You're paying for fees that they've already covered for you, such as their equipment. Now you don't have to buy a camera and ask somebody, hey, can you do this for my event? The other thing is their talent. A lot of videographers and photographers who are well known are known for their talent and their eye through the lens. So you want to make sure that you're also paying them fairly for their expertise. Lastly, you want to think about having a contingency fee. A contingency fee is money set aside for the sake of an emergency. You can expect to have this contingency fee be about 5% of your total budget. And it will be protection for your event in the case that something goes wrong. If the event space has to cancel, right, during this time of COVID, a lot of things can go wrong. So you want to make sure that you have money set aside for emergency. Now, let's discuss the total price range for this entire budget. Total price range, you can expect anywhere from $5,700 to $13,000. This is not including tournament cash prize. This is not including event decorations if you want any, and it's not including any marketing materials that you actually have to buy. There are some ways to minimize these fees. If any of these guest artists are in your community, one big thing about that is you take away the traveling and lodging fees because they already live in your city. The only thing that you should probably consider paying for is their gas money to get to and from your event. Now, the flip side to that is you want to make sure that whoever it is, if it's an event just for your community, you don't have to worry about really having a guest artist. But if you want your community to grow, if you want them to experience more, especially if people in your community hardly get a chance to travel out, maybe they don't have the funds, then you bring someone here who is popular to your community and give them a great experience. So now that you have all the artists in mind, and when you're going to communicate with them, make sure that you are communicating in a very specific way. Ask them, what are your fees to do these services from this day to this day, from this time to this time? In this video, you learn putting your budget together, figuring out how much money you're going to need. We gotta do better when it comes to building our events and making sure that they are of high quality. Just make sure that when you're making an event, you're making it with the intention of growing your community. Don't try and be that guy or that girl or however you identify yourself. Make sure that the event that you are putting together is going to be high in quality. Stay tuned for part 2. We are going to talk about funding. How are we going to get that money? And how are we going to price our event so that we can make as much money back as possible and we're not breaking our pockets. Peace, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bow.